Hey everyone, we got a break finally on day number 14 of the extremely tight range. We have a clear break. It's for the bears. The signal was 63.55 breaking. We dropped down to 62.11, so over $100 drop to the downside, at least on Coinbase. And very interesting. I mean, who would have thought that we're seeing Amazon and Netflix and these major stocks with 6%, 8% days, and cryptocurrency Bitcoin here trading in a 13-day 2% range. Pretty wild turn of events from what we saw just 6 months plus ago. More than that, but you know what I mean. So it was a clear bear break. Where do we stand now? We go back to our usual game, the 15-minute time frame, grinding down the exponential resistances. Couldn't get over them. We finally did. So we zoom out to the hourly and we watch the hourly exponential resistances. So what we have right now is the low of the pullback, the high of the bounce, a higher low, and we're trading in an hourly equilibrium pattern. If we look at it on the 4-hour time frame, it just shows up as inside bars. So a tightening range, the bears have the upper hand. RSI is less of a reliable indicator, or it was a less of a reliable indicator. That's going to change. But when it was in such a tight range, such a small price movement would do significant things to that RSI. So glad that it's breaking out of a range. Whatever direction, just give us some volatility. Obviously, the bears have the upper hand continuously, and we're looking back down towards 6,000 psychological support. It's 61.51, followed by 60.33, and then we're looking down at 6,000 and then 5,900. So again, the bears have the upper hand. The good thing is at least we didn't have any fake outs, right? We didn't have any clear bull breaks that fell apart and the bears took back over. It was just a tight range that finally broke bearish. And now the bulls continue to sit back and wait patiently for any kind of potential signals. And the bears are continuing to be comfortable as we continue to reject from exponential resistance levels on the weekly time frame. And it's keeping the bears in control right now. Some responses to the video yesterday talking about, what were we talking about? We were talking about how people could think that this would be accumulation. If the price isn't moving much, how is there any accumulation going on? You also have to factor in that I believe around 1,800 Bitcoin are being mined a day. So that adds supply into the market. And if we're not moving, if we're trading exactly sideways and that supply is getting added, it's getting absorbed and bought up. And in a 12-day period, 13-day period, that's about $160 million at these current prices. So essentially $160 million of Bitcoin entered the market and the price didn't really move much. So it was being absorbed to a certain degree, but obviously the bear's in control of the short term now and patiently sitting back. I did have a stop buy for if the 4-hour range broke bullish for a partial position, and I have now since removed that order. And I'm going to patiently wait for another potential setup. But otherwise, going to continue trading stock market volatility. ETH on the daily time frame also had the bear break, and the exponential resistance on the daily time frame just grinding the price down. On the bounce attempt, the 15-minute exponential resistance rejected the price. We finally got over it, so we zoom out to the hourly exponential, and that's now what we're currently testing. Similar pattern to Bitcoin on the hourly with the low, high of the bounce, higher low, and tightening hourly equilibrium to be watching. And at this point, the bear's signal was clear on that break of the 4-hour. If you missed it, then we're watching potentially for 4-hour lower highs. I would want to see 4-hour oversold bounces give us a lower high, potential 4-hour exponential resistance if I were looking for a bearish entry. And we can be watching how these 4-hour inside bars break heading into tonight. Litecoin, we haven't looked at Litecoin in a while. Look at that daily break. Clearly much weaker as it broke well below the lows of recent prices, and it's the lowest price we've seen since September 12th. So if that were the case for Bitcoin, we would be lower. December 12th was down here. Let's see, was that December 12th or October? September 12th. So for September 12th on Bitcoin, we would be down here in the low 6,000s, a little bit below where we are. So on the weekly time frame for Litecoin, we're close to confirming this bear flag. And if 47.19 breaks, which we almost did by 25 cents, if that breaks, that bear flag is confirmed. So we have to be watching for Ethereum to potentially follow along as well because it's a very similar pattern. Ethereum is just holding up a little bit better, but Litecoin is on the verge of another leg down. And if 47.19 breaks, the next support level that we're looking at is down at 33.56. There is not a lot of support nearby. 45 would be a level. So psychological levels to 45 and then down to the 30s. Bears in complete control of Litecoin. 15-minute bounce attempt, just getting over exponential resistance. Hourly, same setup. Higher low, lower high. 4-hour inside bars. Actually, I take that back. due to the candlestick close there. That's not an inside bar, even though it is the same pattern, but we can watch that tightening equilibrium all the same. BCH USD, also a clear bear break, also dropping down to daily lower lows. 407.65 is the lowest price we've hit recently. We dropped down to 408. So again, we're almost on another leg down here as well for BCH to confirm this weekly bear flag. Look at the lack of support in this area. We got nothing here on Coinbase. Have to go to other exchanges to find the next weekly level. And on Bitfinex, we're looking down at 280. So again, there's other levels we can pick out. 415 if that breaks. 297. There is no support down in these levels. So Litecoin and BCH are setting up for better bearish entries. I should say better bearish plays due to the lack of supports compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum. And both of them pretty much a double bottom down at that support level with the lows today. So another leg down would see a break of those levels, and bears are in complete control there. Ripple had a bear break of the range as well, not nearly down to lower lows on the daily time frame. So same thing. Let's see, next support on the daily is down at 399. Might as well call that 40 cents. 15-minute time frame, just getting over exponential resistance, hourly exponential resistance now with the tightening hourly pattern. So pretty much if we had to put these in any kind of grouping, it would be Bitcoin, Ripple, and ETH, and it would be LTC and BCH on the other side in terms of just a more clear setup, weaker on the daily. Shouldn't say a more clear setup, but a clearly weaker setup on the daily with everybody else pretty much in the same hourly pattern into tonight. So another scenario where the bears are comfortable and we are patiently waiting unless in a bearish position. I want to point out BTG. A member pointed this out, Julian, so here's the price of BTG, and this is Bitcoin Gold, I believe, and I don't know fundamentally much about it, admittedly. But on the weekly time frame, we can see that we are in a similar pattern to Bitcoin. We pulled back significantly. The weekly time frame is still lower highs and lower lows. There's been a bounce playing out for a couple months. Not a ton of upside, but we did bounce 100% from the lows, and we're trying to change this weekly trend. But what stands out, look at the longs chart on the weekly time frame. And this is the longs chart for Bitfinex. This is the weekly chart. Look at the daily chart. So what is going on? I don't have the answer. If anybody can tell me what in the world is going on with this name, I would certainly be interested in knowing, because we started down here at about 5,000, or make that 50,000 open position, 60,000, and here we are up at 800,000. So obviously it's just all adding long positions, and I don't know what is going on. So would appreciate any insight. So that's where we stand overall. Bears happy. Bulls not happy, but at least it's something better than just sideways action. So we'll continue to check back in as things develop. All coins, again, having opportunity. Honestly, the stock market has more of an opportunity in the crypto space right now with the kind of volatility we're seeing and the kind of leveraged instruments, 3 times leveraged ETFs to play, options and all that. So that's where my attention is right now, and that's why videos have slowed down as price action has slowed down as well. But we're going to continue monitoring this situation as we head into the end of the year, because we are going to see a clear weekly break now on Bitcoin. We're a bit closer at this point with that break of the 4-hour range. And the question is going to be, can the bears break it through 6,000 support that the bulls have defended pretty significantly over the last couple of months? And we'll have to stay tuned. Again, bears are very comfortable. Bearish entries on 4-hour lower highs, bearish entries on the clear 4-hour bear breaks, which triggered a bunch of stops. And we'll check back in tomorrow. Hope you have a good rest of your night. Continue to do good things out there. We got some sheep here at the end of the video, and we are at the end of this week is our goal to get this Do Good Things apparel store up and start raising some funds ourselves, which we'll eventually vote on to go to whatever cause we decide. Thanks again. See you tomorrow.